Let me begin by thanking the committee for its good work with respect to this. We took it off the fast track so that we could just really get our arms around these issues. There is, I think, one major issue that we all need to discuss, and I know that Mr. Rice will be discussing with respect to the grace period. But I have some what I consider to be more cleanup kinds of amendments, although there's one that is more substantive in terms of the scope with respect to this. The first that I have shared with you is that amending lines 78 to 80 of the bill to allow not just condo owners, property owners, but renters who have a space to say, excuse me, there's somebody in my space, I'd like to authorize a tow. So, Council President, if we could proceed by, if there's no objection, we
need a second.
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Berliner has moved and Ms. Navarro has seconded. Clarification that any other person in lawful possession or control of the property may request a tow.
The second
So,
amendment.
is there objection to that amendment? Hearing no objection, the amendment is agreed to.
The second amendment relates to the towing contracts. We put in language with respect to the towing contract that basically requires the property owner to have, there's language as to the property owner's responsibility and liability. The amendment before us would simply say, well, we need to have the tow truck operators' liability and responsibility spelled out too, so it makes it even with respect to that.
This really is focused on predatory towing. We've listened very carefully to the tow companies. We have tried to the best of our ability to accommodate the owners of property that prohibit parking. I want to say here that I think all of us were sympathetic to the concerns of property owners. I mean, if you own property and your clients have limited amount of parking spaces, you have every right to expect, A, that the people don't park there, and B, that cars that do park there are removed. We just want an orderly process.
To the bill, I just want to really express my appreciation to Councilmember Berliner and Councilmember Elrich, the committee, everyone who's worked on this. This obviously is something that has been front and center, especially in Wheaton. And as we go forward with revitalization efforts and such an investment in Wheaton, this really is going to make a big difference. You know, I hear time and time again of people that literally make the decision not to go to certain places because there's this headache. I had an opportunity to chat with Dr. Pollard in one of these wonderful programs that we have, No Boundaries, and we were both trying to figure out, where do we park? We had to park in the street. We couldn't park in the parking lot of the wonderful restaurant Run Thai because there were 1,000 million signs where the owners made sure we knew that we would get towed. So this is real, and it's going to have a really positive impact, I think, especially in our economic development pursuits. So happy to support it.
The clerk will call the roll on Bill 715, and let's do that. Bill 1715.
Mr. Elrich?
Yes.
Mr. Elrich votes yes. Mr. Hucker? Yes. Mr. Hucker votes yes. Mr. Berliner? Yes. Mr. Berliner votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Reamer? Yes. Mr. Reamer votes yes. Ms. Navarro? Yes. Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Katz votes yes. Ms. Florine?
Yes.
Ms. Florine votes yes. Mr. Leventhal?
The Council President votes yes on Bill 1715, which is agreed to unanimously by the Council. The Council stands in recess until 1:45 for public hearings at that time.